to the Countdown. I'm your Countdown host, MJ Book, back for another episode here in the world of the Countdown. And this is a unique episode. I didn't do this last year, but today is Moa's birthday. So I've had a couple of these. So not going to give my age, but I'm under 100. That's all I'll say. I'm 43 and proud of it. So if you want to say happy birthday wishes, that's cool. But today got a countdown going, but
Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts Eric and Rob.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. 3GW in the building. Here to do. This is kind of a multi-episode right here. This is a countdown. It's also a tribute show, and it's a very, very special day. I'll let the ambassador himself throw to that here in a second. But here we are, the real Big E and Rob the ambassador. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going good. As our listeners know, today is August 25th. It is the 44th birthday of the late, great MJ Book, my cousin, my brother, my friend. And so we are here to celebrate that. I've actually been celebrating all day, been listening back to some of our old podcasts, getting a few laughs. Doing that has kept away, I've shed a couple of tears, but for the most part, I've been able to go back and listen to our shows and watch them and see him. And they're good memories, man. And it's kept me smiling and laughing all day and crying a lot less. And I really, really need that.
Yeah. It's always like, for me anyway, it's, some days I just think about them and get a little emotional. And then there's times I look at a picture and go, man. And then I say, okay, the cure is always, let me just put on one of our shows. And then, then like I said, it always goes back to laughter. I always think of some of the shows where I don't know why, but when I would look at him and he started laughing, I would laugh even harder. But yeah, man. I think we did Double or Nothing. And I was talking about what you call porn star Hobbs.
Oh yeah.
And how what's his name, like Fat Rey Mysterio and and of course Big Shotty Lee Johnson.
Yeah. Well, man, some of my memories are you and him going back and forth about Goldberg.
Yeah.
Or you and him, man, he would never cut Goldberg no slack, no matter what, he just wasn't having it. So those are some of my favorite memories.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, so for those that know and maybe don't know, he had his own podcast, several podcasts, the Countdown Podcast 2020. And we were featured on there heavily. And it was a blast all the time. And he was very receptive to different concepts, different ideas, countdowns and things like that. So we're doing this. We were doing countdowns before he started his show, but we're doing this one especially for him. One of his favorites, The Undertaker. It only felt right to do this countdown. Undertaker, our top 10 Undertaker matches. Now this is going to be a two-part. This is really getting into MJ Book territory. It's going to be a two-parter.
Yeah. But it's not going to be no 2-hour podcast.
No, it's a two-parter because it's already late, and also, we don't want to, have too long of shows because I know even for me, depending on when people watch, people listen, they don't want to be no all-day thing. So, I know most of my time is spent listening to podcasts at work because I'm by myself. So that's why I get it in. But anyway, for you, I know we talked about it for a while ago, and then we said, let's do it Thursday. And then Thursday came really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So How hard for you was it to compile your list?
It wasn't too hard to come up with like the top 4 or 5. They came to my mind right away. When it got down to like 7, 8, and 9, because I do a little research. We've all watched so much wrestling. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So I go and I research. And there were a couple of matches I was like, maybe I need to go back and look at these because I don't remember them as clearly. So that's where it got difficult for me, is when I got to like the last 3 or 4.
It was the opposite for me. Well, no. Yeah, I guess so. The bottom, when we're going to do tonight, 10 through 6, were easier for me than the top 5. That was harder. So
Now, was it harder because you had to rank them, or was it harder because you didn't remember them as well?
ranking them.
Okay.
Yeah. 10 through 6, that was the ones that was harder to remember. I had to go back and, like I said, I watched a few of those matches last night. And I was just reminiscing, because a lot of these matches I had on Hey Kids VHS, and I would watch them on repeat, every night. So hearing those sound bites again, the King, my God, that dude, there's no way he could get away with half the shit he said back then now.
No,
And here we go.
But as MJ Book would say, this is a 10-spot countdown. And as he would do, I'm going to throw to you, sir. What's your number 10?
All right. Well, my number 10, and this is one that I kind of had to go back and watch. It's not from that long ago. It's from 2006, No Way Out, and it's The Undertaker versus Kurt Angle. It was a World Heavyweight Championship match. Angle was the champion at the time. And this one is interesting because this is a match that Taker, I'm just going to put it out there, Taker lost this one. But man, this was a clinic. Now, we all know Kurt Angle, collegiate wrestler, Olympic gold medalist, won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, as he used to always like to remind us.
Right.
And he was taking on Undertaker. And I'll tell you what, man, this is one of the great things about Undertaker. For being such a big man, he could really work well with the smaller guys. I mean, even though he could do the big guy moves that you expect from a guy his size, he could get on the mat and wrestle with the best of them. He could strike, and this match is an example of all of those things that Taker could do well. But I tell you what, Kurt Angle was a beast in this match. The way he was able to counter all of Undertaker's signature moves and turn them into an ankle lock, whether it was a tombstone, whether it was the last ride. I mean, anything Taker thought he could do to finish Kurt had an answer for it and somehow turned it into an ankle lock. It was amazing technical wrestling. And I really, really enjoyed this match. I wanted to put it higher than 10, but as we go through this list, you'll see why I couldn't, because Taker is involved in so many great matches with
so
great
many
wrestlers, so many legends, Hall of Famers, and they're all spectacular. But I put this at number 10 because that's the only place I could fit it.
Well, I'm not mad. I mean, it made it. When you think about all the matches Undertaker has, and you're like, you got narrowed down to 10. I mean, so that says these are all great matches. It's just that this is the order we're putting them in, our own personal order. All right, not mad about it. It's a great match. My number 10 is a match. This was 2002, and let's see. Trying to get my shit together here. This featured a triple threat, actually, with somebody you just talked there done talking about, Kurt Angle and The Rock. And it's so it's Vengeance 2002, the triple threat match for the undisputed championship. Um, I don't know if you've seen this match, but it is fantastic. It is fast paced. It's this match just goes and it doesn't stop. It's just I don't know how else to to put it. It is so fast paced, and the thing about this match that I really liked was that everybody was kind of copying each other's moves. So you had The Rock doing the ankle lock, and then you had I think Undertaker did the angle slam. Yeah, Undertaker doing the angle slam, and then Kurt Angle doing the rock bottom, and it was that kind of thing. It was really unique, and Kurt, yeah, he was really intense in this match. And there's another, both starting off a match of Undertaker lost, but Undertaker didn't take the fall in this one. He Rock would hit the rock bottom on Kurt Angle and get the win. But this match was fantastic. I just felt like it had to be on here. This is during the American Badass phase of Undertaker, but definitely highly recommend people go back and watch Vengeance 2002 for this match. It's great. It is really great. So
That one did not make my list, but I wanted to get it on there. I just couldn't. I have seen these. I've seen all of these because I went to all of these shows. We've talked about
oh
Bill and
yeah,
Ted's Show a lot. One of me and Book's favorite spots to watch these shows.
yep,
But this one I will have to go back and watch. And it's amazing because we're doing an Undertaker top 10, and we have two different matches that feature Kurt Angle, which just tells you how great he was also.
right.
Did not make my list, but a spectacular match. Okay, my number 9. And people might think this one's a little low, but I really enjoyed this one. This is WrestleMania 23. Batista
Mm.
is the world heavyweight champion defending against The Undertaker.
Oof.
Man, now we're both big Batista fans. We met him a year later at 24. What I love about this match is Batista, no intimidation. He just starts off the match right away.
Yep. With the
Spear,
spear. Yep.
spear to Undertaker. I mean, he took it to the Undertaker like very few wrestlers ever have.
Yep.
I mean, we all know Batista is big and bad, and he showed no fear, no mercy. He went at Undertaker, but Undertaker is just one of the all-time greats, as Batista is. But it was WrestleMania. It was just Undertaker's night. Batista did everything he could do. It was just a matter of Undertaker on that night being the better man, but there's no shame to Dave Batista. He took it to the dead man like I've never seen any other wrestler do, just from a physicality standpoint. I've
Right.
seen some
Right.
of the
Right.
other smaller technical wrestlers, like I said, maybe outwork or out finesse Taker, but from just a physical standpoint, Batista gave Taker all he could handle.
Well, well, we do these countdowns, so I gotta say this has definitely made my list. I mean, you know that.
Yeah. I figured it did. Probably, I'm sure higher than what I had it.
Oh yeah. But man, I had to say my comments when I get to it. But man, I love that match. I really do. I really do. Okay, so my number 9 may be a match that a lot of people probably forgot about, but I did not. And this is a retrospective I want us to do one day, and it's from 1999. Fully Loaded. Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a first blood match, where if it was for the WWF Championship, first blood match where Vince McMahon lost, he had to leave the company. Like this is that stipulation. This is one of the matches I rewatched last night, and I just man, this is the set too from that show back when they used to have unique sets, and it was a constant story throughout the night of Undertaker busting open Austin at Sunday Night Heat, And then Austin getting revenge later on, busting the Undertaker open. So when the match started, they both had bled already. And it was, for those that have never seen a first blood match, because they don't do them anymore, first one to bleed is the loser. And at the end of the day, they both ended up bleeding, but Stone Cold got the win with some help from I forgot who, X-Pac. With some help from X-Pac coming out and hitting he did that roundhouse kick with a chair to Undertaker's face. Undertaker was busted open, and the referee Earl Hebner saw it, and Stone Cold won. And yeah, I love this match. It's great. And like I said, I love this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view kicks ass. We will do this retrospect. Might be the next one we do too, because I went back and watched some of the other matches too. I was like, we gotta do this. I love this show. So yeah, fully loaded 1999, Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin. My number 9.
All right. Not on my list, but you know what? No shame in this. This just is a tribute to how many great matches Taker has been in. All right. So we're up to my number 8. This one is the oldest match that I have on my list, but this features two of my all-time favorites. Okay. Undertaker, obviously, but this is from SummerSlam 1997. He is challenging Bret Hart for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, a lot of people may not really care for this match today because it's a long match. It goes like 28, 29 minutes. But I tell you what, this is another case of Taker working with a smaller wrestler, Bret Hart, the technician. And the story they tell throughout this match of Bret trying to attack Taker's left leg, trying to take his base away, take his strength away. Bret is the heel in this match. I don't know if people remember, Bret Hart became, after losing to Stone Cold the previous year at WrestleMania 14,
13.
13, I'm sorry, 13, excuse me. He became a very big heel. He would bash America. He would come out carrying the Canadian flag. He would stand in the ring and they would play the Canadian national anthem, and he would talk smack about America. And yeah, so he is the heel at the time. Taker is obviously the big face in this one. And it goes back and forth. It's basically, Taker's strength against Bret Hart's finesse and technicality. And it's an absolute clinic. To me, this took me back to my childhood. This is the wrestling, I'm a lot older than you. So I came up with wrestling that was, a lot of it was on the mat, and a lot of it were what they might refer to as rest holds today. And in today's world, I get it. But when I was coming up, they were just wrestling hold. It was wrestling. This was wrestling. And so once again, a case of Taker being able to hang with these smaller guys and all these technical moves that he could do, the striking he could do, in addition to just all of the big devastating moves, the tombstones and the last rides that we would see him do. It was just absolutely fun to watch. I didn't mention the special referee in this match is Shawn Michaels, who actually cost Taker the match by inadvertently hitting him with a chair. And that would lead to another epic Undertaker match that will appear later on my list, and I will save that for later.
I'm sure we will. Oh man, I've never seen that match, but I'd be curious. Maybe one day we could do a watch along with that one.
Yeah.
I'm curious now because I never, I didn't start watching WWF until like till 98, 99, late 98, going 99. Okay. So at number 8 now is a match that I saw live and in person, and it was nuts. I'm so glad and privileged to say that I was there to see this, and it was at my very first SummerSlam. And I'm talking about Edge versus Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. This match kicked ass. Oh my God. These two had great chemistry, Edge and Taker. I mean, this match was great. A lot of people are gonna remember the match for the ending when Undertaker chokeslams Edge through the ring and the fire and all that stuff. I was there. I'm not gonna, you know, break kayfabe and say what happened after the match, but um, these two tore it up. They went through tables. There was ladders. There was everything you can imagine. Um, Leading up to this match, Edge had a promo segment with Mick Foley. Mick Foley told him, "You got to find that crazy Edge that took me to the brink when we wrestled at WrestleMania, and you speared me through a table that was on fire. You got to find that Edge." And he did. He was like in a trance in this match, and it was fantastic. Taker won, obviously, but can't recommend enough if you've never seen it. This match took place in Indianapolis, Indiana. It was about 2.5 hour drive from where I lived at the time. So I just drove there, drove back the same night. I didn't even stay. But it was a night I will never forget because that was the first time Batista and John Cena ever wrestled two on that card. So I was there. I was there.
All right. Well, this is a good lead in to my number 7, because my number 7 is also a match between Edge and Undertaker, and it's a match that both you and I had the honor of witnessing in person. And this is Edge defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Undertaker at WrestleMania 24.
I was wondering if this was going to be on here with you anyway.
Yes, and I will say this: the match you just spoke about is also on my list, but this one that we saw at 24, man, I tell you what, that whole card, we've if you have not watched our retrospective on 24, it's worth listening to both parts in their entirety. We go through everything that we did that weekend, meeting Batista, going to Universal Studios, meeting some of the other wrestlers, the card, every match. It's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. That was a great WrestleMania, and it was topped by this match. Edge and Undertaker had one of the greatest rivalries in WWF, WWE history. I think everyone knows that. And of course, it's obvious because two different matches in a row made our countdowns featuring Edge and Undertaker. These two just always could work magic together. The matches were always very physical, sometimes got even a little violent, and this was no different. And anytime you're watching Undertaker at WrestleMania, it's just a magic moment. The streak is on the line. That adds a certain degree of intrigue to it. So it takes a special opponent to make you believe that Taker's streak could possibly end. And Edge is one of those opponents where you feel like Taker's streak is really at risk.
Oh yeah, there was some close calls that night. We were kind of like grabbing each other. I remember.
I remember that too, man. A tribute to both of these men, the work they did, and how great they are in the ring, and how great this rivalry was. Rivalry. I misspoke, but yeah, Undertaker versus Edge, WrestleMania 24, my number 7.
Nice. Yes, that was a memorable night for sure. Something to mention. I mean, I hate to be the party pooper, but it was great because all the pyro and stuff afterwards, and there was that incident where the pyro got too close to some people that were sitting up high. And they got injured, but nobody was killed or anything. It was just some mild burns, but yeah, WWE lost some money on that on that end. But yeah, man, we had awesome seats. That was an awesome match. We got to see Ric Flair's real last match. Okay.
Here's the irony. You referred to me as the ticket man because of what I've been able to do with All Out tickets the past 2 years, but you were the ticket man when it came to 24. You hooked us up with some good tickets for that, our very first WrestleMania.
This is as true as it gets. So everybody knows when they go to sporting events, if it's your first time, or maybe not your first time. Okay, you go to a sporting event, Okay, you walk in, you can see the area, whatever. You want to get a picture behind all the stuff and everything. That's exactly what we did. I said, I just want a picture behind the ring. I know these aren't our seats or anything, but I just want a picture. And then you were like, wait a minute, this is our section.
I couldn't believe it because
And
we just thought we were just getting in an area to get a good shot.
yeah,
And then I look around and I see the number of the section and I'm like,
108.
man, this is our section right here.
And
I couldn't
I
believe it.
looked at you, I said, no. I said, no way. And I looked at the tickets and I said, oh shit. And when I tell y'all,
Yeah.
and there's proof. Because if you watch WrestleMania 24, either on Peacock or DVD, whatever, during the Money in the Bank match, you can see myself and Randy Ambassador on camera. That's how close we were.
You're gonna have to point that out because I have that DVD and but I just don't know the right moment to stop it. So you're gonna have to
There's
point that
several.
out to me.
There's several moments because I watched
Okay.
them all and I
Okay.
catch myself reacting several times. You can visibly see my white T-shirt because I had the white WrestleMania 24 shirt, and you're sitting right next to me. Oh man, we could go on and on about WrestleMania 24. We'll be here all night.
Definitely check out the retrospective. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's great.
Yeah. Okay. We are up to number 7. 7. Dave Chappelle would say 7.
Yeah, yo, number 7.
All right. Now I'm going back in time again to 1998, late 1998. And this is the only time that this pay-per-view has ever been a pay-per-view. And it is, like I said, 1998, Rock Bottom, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker again, but this is the Buried Alive match. And this was my first Buried Alive match I'd ever seen. And a lot of stuff going in this match. I believe Shane McMahon was either the ref or he was just heavily involved in this feud. There was a lot that went into it, but yeah, this was a brutal match. And back then, 1998, what, 11 years old? So I don't know anything about kayfabe. I don't know anything about how this stuff works. Or, I'm thinking that's a real big mound of dirt. That's really 6 feet. Somebody's really about to get, all that dirt dumped on them from this a bulldozer, because they had a real bulldozer in there. Man, it was for the WWF Championship as well, I should say. The this is another losing effort on the Undertaker side, but I believe this was Ministry Undertaker, if I'm not mistaken, or leading up to it. And yeah, Stone Cold was still over like Rover during this time, and this was one of my favorite matches of both men, but definitely had to be on my countdown for Undertaker. Like I said, Rock Bottom. This was, The Rock. This was a pay-per-view for The Rock, but he wasn't even the main event, which is crazy. So yeah, definitely my number 7.
Okay, so we're up to my number 6. And my number 6 is also from 1998. And for some people, this may seem a little low, but it is King of the Ring, 1998. And
No,
even if you are not a wrestling fan, let me tell you, you have heard of this match.
this
You
didn't make your
know,
top 5.
it almost got in there, but look, I'll explain. And you already know this about me.
Yeah, just when you said King of the Ring, I already know what it is.
Yeah, no, I'll explain. Look, obviously, this match is famous for Mick Foley taking 2 of the hugest bumps you will ever see. All right, being tossed from the very top of the cage onto the announce table.
Yeah.
Mike and I are in Billy Joe's Picture Show, theater full of people, and we can't believe what we've just seen. We're oohing and eyeing. Some people are covering their eyes. Some of the ladies there are covering their eyes. And so they wheel Foley out, and we think the match is over. And you know what? Most of us are okay with that because we saw this amazing bump. We're like, okay, man, just let dude go back to the locker room and recover. But no, Foley comes running down the rampway back towards the ring to the cheers of the crowd in attendance and all of us watching, climbs to the top of the cage. Undertaker chokeslams him. This was not supposed to happen, but Mick Foley falls through the cage, maybe 15 feet to the ring. Tooth flies into his nose, bleeding from the mouth. It was brutal to watch. Now, I have said this many times on this podcast. I am not that guy that likes to see a lot of brutality or blood in my matches because, as I've explained, then I'm no longer a fan just watching a wrestling match. I am a human being concerned for the safety of another human being.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to compare it to a tragedy. I don't want to say that because I don't want to be politically incorrect here, but I'll just say it this way. Even though I was concerned about the welfare of Mick Foley, I could not take my eyes off of what I was witnessing. I had never seen anything like this in a wrestling ring. I had never seen a human being take so much punishment, but keep coming back. And even though I've never thought that Mick Foley is the greatest wrestler, and I never felt like this match was like the greatest technical wrestling match because there really wasn't any. This was just violent and brutal. That's really all it was.
Mm-hmm.
But the respect I earned for Mick Foley in this match, I mean, it is, I can't describe. To take the punishment that he took, because later in the match, Tax report onto the ground and he was slammed on Tax. He just kept going, no matter how much punishment, no matter what Taker did to him, he just kept coming back. Eventually, Taker does prevail. But for anybody who has witnessed this match, I tell you, it's a tattoo on your brain. You will never forget it. I don't care what you do to yourself in life. I don't care how old you get, what you remember, what all you forget. You will never forget this match. And I hated to put it at number 6, but I am a guy who likes more wrestling. I'm not the guy who likes the brutality. I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people respect it, and I get that. But it's my number 6. But I'm telling you what, if this countdown was called the most unforgettable wrestling matches that I've ever seen, this would probably be my number 1.
Yeah. When I was going through my list, I'm like, oh yeah, Rob, this is probably 2 or 3 for him. 6. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When you see my top 5, you may understand.
I may. You never know. But my number 6 is a match that was already mentioned. And I mean, I'm glad it was mentioned, but at the same time, I mean, I didn't know if he was going to have it on here, but yeah, it's Undertaker and Batista at WrestleMania 23. I mean, you said it. Batista came out. This was his. He talked about it in his book as his best match, his greatest match he's ever had, and I will agree. But he's had great ones after this. I mean, this feud was fantastic. All their matches were great. Um, I remember that they were pissed. Both of them were pissed. They were going on in the middle of the show, and they John Cena was he was it, so he was going to face Shawn Michaels in the main event. Okay, I can get with that, but why are we going on in the middle of the show? And this is for the World Heavyweight Championship. And they both kind of were like, we're going to tear this fucking house down. And they did. Nothing followed this match. As you said, Batista came out like a ball of fire, spearing Taker, taking it down to Taker. The running power slam through the table was insane. There were times where he could have won. Batista's the champ. He could have won by count out several times. And he kept getting back in the ring. He's like, no, I'm going to beat you. And this was the first time in all WrestleMania years I thought that he going to do it. He's big enough. He's bad enough. He's beating the brakes off the Undertaker right now. But to Undertaker's credit, he was fighting back, and it was just non-stop. And I love the crowd interaction. The whole front row, if you watch the people behind the hard camera, they were all into the match, all those near falls. It took 2 tombstones to beat Batista, but finally Undertaker put him down, and it was nuts. He hit the Batista bomb on him too, clean. I mean, perfect picture, perfect Batista bomb, and take. I think to that point nobody had ever kicked out a Batista bomb, and yeah, this was a great match, and like I said, I was huge Batista fan. So it's for me to put this on here and love that match, even though Batista lost, it was still like that was a fantastic match, though. Yeah, that's my number 6. Taker and Batista in Detroit, Ford Field, WrestleMania 23. Well, that is going to do it for part 1 of this countdown. As we said earlier, it's going to be a 2-part countdown. 5 to number 1 is going to be coming up soon. But we want to do this show, as we said. This is a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Book, MJ Book, our fallen brother. We love you. We miss you. Happy 44th birthday. We will continue to celebrate your life as long as we're here. You'll be here with us, no matter what.
Yes.
So, and the other reason why I want to do this Undertaker theme countdown for him was because the very first time that we did, that we all watched WrestleMania together was a match I'm sure we're going to talk about. But that was the first time I had ever seen him do the Undertaker pose.
Oh my goodness. He used to do that. We'd be in, like I said, Billy Joel's in front of a theater full of people, and he would do, and he would want me to do it, and I'd be like, no, man. I think I did it a couple of times on some big matches, maybe, but I'm like, man, that's your thing. No, that's all you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was something, man. He's missed, man, but he's always going to be a part of this show, always a part of this podcast, always.
Definitely. Well, make sure y'all check us out on all the platforms. Instagram, Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. Twitter, podcast Let's Go Third. And you can email us at thirdgenwrestling@gmail.com. Check us out on TikTok as well. Just search Third Generation Wrestling Pod. And we'll have some more content coming for that too. I've been just busy. But I know we gotta get back. I gotta get back on the TikTok tip. Next week we have 2 excuse me, 2 prediction shows to do because we got Clash of the Castle, and we will be at All Out live and in person.
Putting in work next week.
Yeah,
tune in, watch us.
We've been in work this week
y'all.
for that matter. But yeah, definitely the prediction shows. Get some live footage from All Out, and then we got 2 post shows. So yeah, it's gonna be really busy next week. I got a Trying to Laugh. I got to finally put up. I thought I was gonna get up last night, didn't, but it is almost done. I got finished editing that, and that'll be up probably around the same time this goes up. So content's coming, y'all. Getting back to it. We appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. We appreciate you all for watching. Ambassador, take it out.
All right. Hey, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We say it every episode and we mean it. Give us some show ideas. You send them in, we will do them. Tell your friends we're trying to build this thing. We're going to be here. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep bringing you content. And of course, to our brother, MJ Book, we love you. We miss you, man. But we know you're looking down on us, and we hope we are making you proud.
Yes. Can't wait to do.
Don't give us no flaming F's. Don't do that.
He's up there right now, like, oh, look at these guys, these assholes out here. Oh man. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll speak to y'all again soon. Peace.